Assalamu alaikum, dear student. How are you? I hope you are well, Almighty of Allah. I am welcome to for Modbury Online School. My favorite institution, Nurjahan Memorial Secondary School, Modbury Preschool. I am Jasim Uddin, assistant teacher, Nurjahan Memorial Secondary School. Dear student, today our online classes are voice. Dear student, classes 8 to 10, subject English second paper, and we learn today voice. What is voice and how can we change or what kinds of voice? Dear student, look at whiteboard and see these topics or today topics are active and passive. Dear student, today we learn voice. What is voice or what kinds of voice? Voice are any speech or any person who are one finite verb and one subject. The student, what kinds of voice? Dear students and my dear learners, our topics voice and kinds of voice 2. 1. Active and passive. Passive and active. Active is a sentence who are independent sentence and not help any voice, and passive dependent voice who are depend on active and meaning of active. Dear student, how can change active to passive? Dear student, if we change active to passive, we follow 4 rules. If we change active to passive, we follow 4 rules. First, at first we active voice object taking passive voice subject. 2 or second, any auxiliary verb or says or conjugate tense or says tense according to tense. Third, any verb has a take B3 form or past participle form. 4. Lastly, we stand by an active voice subject to passive voice for object to stand. Dear student, note maximum time are not select by. Sometimes we select for, with, at, in, others. So we depend it for, with, at, and in are personal pronoun. We easy to say these rules, dear student and my dear learners. We easy to say object to subject, विभाग B3 by subject के object. Dear student, these are easy to say any active to passive, we easy to say and we remember our mind. Easy, object to subject plus bhav plus b3 plus by plus subject to object. Dear student, easy to say. Dear student, we easy to say, and any person are asked me how can we change active to passive, we easy to say and remember our mind that object to subject plus bhav plus b3 or past participle form plus by plus subject to object. Dear student, we easy to say and clearly an example. I eat rice. At first I saw it is a sentence and tense. It is assertive sentence and it is present indefinite tense. Dear student, I eat rice. I eat rice. How can say it passive? At first, object to subject rice. It is present indefinite tense. It next tense, present continuous tense, taking his auxiliary verb am, is, are. We know rice after instant is, so we start is, then main verb are past participle form eaten, last by subject object, I objective form me. Dear student, how can find we subject and object? Dear student, at first we select main verb. If we asked main verb what by whom by how, we what is answered, we or carry we answered object such as whom, what, it are answered rice. Dear student, and subject asked who or whom, then asked subject answered we I. Such Bengali meaning kiye ba kara answered are I, and ki ba kake who is answered are object. So we find and see subject and object, easy to find out subject and object. Dear student, hot or no to change voice. Dear student, we know change the voice. We first learn about tense. Tense, we know tense are mainly three kinds of: present, past, future. Present, any sentence are arranged and kinds of four: infinitive, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. But are not four kinds of sentences passive. Only three kinds of sentence tense are sense, passive, as a infinitive, continuous and perfect. Dear student, how can we change vivar or verb এর tense পরিবর্তন? Look at the board and see passive, active and passive. Active and passive. Dear student, we know that at first learn what is tense and kinds of tense. Dear student, we saw the blackboard and look at first verb 8 tense says or verb says at first beyond or present form we say am, is, are. A present if any tense or present indefinite tense we taking present continuous tense auxiliary verb. Am, is, are we taking am, is, are advanced being because or as. Present continuous tense are has and says passive. It stand and not says. Only we add being. Third, have, has we says have been ba has been. Such as present perfect to present perfect continuous. If V2 or past form we says were past indefinite to past continuous were past continuous at being had been past perfect to past perfect continuous. Shall, but will we says and take shall be or will be. Future indefinite to future continuous. Shall be ba or will be we take shall be ba or will be plus being. Future continuous plus at being. Shall have, will have, shall have been or will have been. Future perfect we says it future perfect continuous. Dear student, we at first learn what is tense and how can says it be verb. Dear student, we at first and viewers and my dear learners, at first we learn about says voice tense. We are shortly says tense and you try to know best your home. Dear student, how can we select subject to object and verb past participle form? Dear student, at first we learn and know what is subject and object. Dear learners and dear students, look at the board and see subject to objective form. I objective form me, we objective form us, she objective form her, they objective form them, you objective form you, it objective form you, it objective form it, he objective form him. Dear student, I hope you learn and easy to say what is subjective and objective form to change. It is easy to say I, me, we, us, she, her, you, they, them, it, he, him, others. And see verb B3 form or past participle form. Dear student, we know One main verb are three kinds of form. First, beyond form, B2 form and B3 form. Which are next name, present form, past form and past participle form. Such as at first one verb present form see, which B2 form or past form saw and past participle form seen. Such as go, went, gone. Go, went, gone. Come, came, come. Come, came, come. Sing, sang, sung. Do, did, done. Read, read, read. Laugh, laughed, laughed. Fight, fought, fought. Dear student, we learn and know what is subject to objective form and what is main verb or B3 or past participle form. It is easy to say and help you or us, and my dear learners, it helps you to change active to passive, and you realize and arrange what is past participle form and past subject to objective form. Dear student, now we some sentence are change active to passive, and we are doing changing voice to easy with us. Dear student and my dear learners, see the board and we look and see some tales. First, he reads the book, it is present indefinite tense and says it passive. At first, we take object to subject, the book, it is present indefinite tense, and taking next tense, present continuous tense, take auxiliary verb is main verb B3 form or past participle form by subject to object, he, him. Next, you are plucking flower, passive, flower is being plucked by you. I have sung a song, passive, a song has been sung by me. This is present tense and says passive. Next, past and says I came home, it is past indefinite tense and says it passive. Home was come by me. They were catching fish, it passive, fish was being caught by them. He had written a letter, passive form, a letter had been written by them. Him, it was past. I shall love you, passive, you will love by loved, you will be loved by me. We will be opening a club, it says passive, a club will be being opened by us. They will have cut the tree, we says it passive, the tree will have been cut by them. Dear student, it is future tense. It is future tense. Dear student, we learn and know how we says tense active to passive. Next, how can says passive to sentence accounting to sentence? Dear student, we know it and look the board. Says the voice to sentence or accounting to sentence. At first, if any sentence or any voice are imperative sentence, how can it says passive? We at first let plus object to subject being plus main verb a past participle form or B3 form, such as or an example says the voice. It is imperative sentence. How can we know it imperative sentence? It is beginning imperative sentence at main verb or beginning at main verb says. So it says passive. At first let object to subject the voice be plus B3 says. Note, any sentence are arranged or previous sentence late, it is an optional and set up late. If any sentence are interrogative, it is beginning with WH, then who says by whom and whom says who. Others are and says such, what, why. Dear student, are an example. Whom did you see on the road? It passive form. Who was seeing you on the road? And next, who is playing football? Or who are assessed by whom is football being played? Next, what do you want? What is wanted by you? I hope you are clear. Thank you, dears and learners. Next, how can says reflexive objects add sentence to passive? If we says reflexive object add sentence to passive, at first answers subject plus tells according to verb B3 or main verb past participle form by plus reflexive pronoun. An example, he killed himself. It says he was killed by himself. And quasi-passive or when it is sentence, how can say it passive? Dear student, at first answers subject plus tells according to verb plus adjective plus when it is plus B3. Dear learners, we are clear. An example, the book reads well. Which subject are cannot find or tell his adjectives are discuss others, it is quasi-passive, such as the book cannot tell his it is well. Others read and tell it is well. So the book reads well. These says are passive. Unsaid subject, the book, it is present indefinite. So is adjective when it is B3 form red. Next, the bed feels soft. The bed is soft when it is felt. Dear student, we are know our online class are make our missing the institution class, and you look and solve your problem and you take care your health and safe sound. Thank you all.